Hey, this is Jerry. This is what I've been working on recently. This is the interpretation of the work I found on YouTube of Edward Black Rose. He gave his permission for me to use his design, which is here. And then he makes a checkerboard so it looks like this when you're falling into a pit. He does some beautiful work on YouTube, just beautiful work. So anyway, this one, when I saw him doing this, I thought it would make a nice pillow front. So he said I could do it, and I had this one particular fabric I had in mind that would accent the design, or the design would accent the fabric. And this is the Flower of Life. Just one. Generally, it's small, and they're many put together, kind of like a carved Moorish wall. And this is just the one big flower. I'm thinking about using this for the back of a jacket. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with this yet. And this is triangles within a triangle within a triangle within a triangle within a triangle. And then this one is diamond within a square bordered by triangles. And I used some of my templates just to draw out the design of the diamonds. And then the square template to do those, and then to get this was just use a ruler and measured from this line that distance, that distance, that distance, that distance, and measured from the perimeter line in the same way so that they line up with the points all the way around. And this is just filled in, and then the perimeter border. So that's the templates I used for that. This is what I've just been doing recently. I've got great inspiration off of YouTube, and that's where I found Edward and his wonderful. He does pen and ink. You really need to look at his channel, Edward Black Rose. He does beautiful pen and ink. This fabric I found, when it's steamed, it shrinks 30%. And it's what creates the texture. When it bunches up, it gathers everything, and that's what creates the texture. But I've been using this for quite some while. And these are some pillows that I made using that technique. When I find fabric like this, I don't do anything that goes against what the designer designed. So with this fabric, I just used a gold thread, and I stitched on top of her design. I just followed what she already had in there as far as the linear effect. And I made these for the back of the car, the back seat of the car, and just did a real simple little diamond embellishment there. And this one, this is just a series of swirls. Half circle over here, this comes and stops here, then this comes up here, just random, and just a diamond on the back. This is, I only do geometric quilting. I don't get into all the curly cues and the fancy shit. I don't like to do anything to take away from the design that's already there. I just quilt it basically because you have to hold the layers together, and that's the primary purpose of quilting, is to hold the layers together. And here's my peacock jacket. Tell you, I worked on doing all this highlighting almost a year, not continually of course, but on and off. This fabric, it has 3 peacocks wide, and to get the full design, the jacket had to be huge. It's just, I might take it apart and make a wall hanging out of this, but this was what I wanted. And of course all of this is outlined and embellished and highlighted. And then this and this is companion fabric. You can see those flowers are throughout here. This is just a different color, and here's one of the colors out of the bodies of the peacocks and the cakes. And then this is an ombre fabric that I kind of just made up. It's two different ombre fabrics, cut and stitch and cut and stitch and cut again and stitch anyway, and it comes out as a checkerboard. And then the front of it is eucalyptus. Lots of glitter. Lots of glitter. So this got People's Choice at the last art show that I had it in. And then on to the kaleidoscopes. And this template, this is a 45-degree template, and the tape is the actual seam allowance. The stitch is inside the tape, so what you actually see is what is inside, not the whole thing. So I marked that off, and then little sandpaper discs so it doesn't slide about on the fabric. And this I love to use. I have kind of a warped sense when I look at fabric as to what I think the fabric should be. So these are a few of what I've done through the years. These are all wall hangings. And this, of course, is a zebra. And the template has a hole in the middle of it, which I use, and it has vertical and horizontal marks, so that's just setting this up and cutting out each individual wedge. The wedge is here, and then and it has to be in the same place. Everything has to be precisely cut in the same place as you go down the fabric, or it won't come out. And then that has a dowel in the back of it. This is one of the first that I made. I love this Flemish fabric. And then this I made up to get the wrinkles. I purposely wrinkled it to get a little texture to it. And then all of this is that's the quilting that was done. And this again, when I see a stripe, when I see any kind of a linear, or even with the zebras, that wasn't even a stripe, that was just an all over. This is what my mind interprets it to be. This is basically one fabric. This is an ombre fabric. This is the lightest part of it, and this is the darkest part of it. So it color shifts. This color is actually up in here, and then it gets lighter to here, and darker and darker and darker and darker. And then this one was cut from down here, and then this one was cut from down here. And then this fabric was just selected as a complement to it, as was this. And then it was used on the back. And then you can see the quilting is just geometric, just following triangles, just following the overall design. So that's what I call that monochromatic. That's just basically one fabric. And then the gardenia. So this fabric came as a five fabric suite. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I used everything that was in the collection to do this. And this, of course, was just a linear pattern. And using the template, making sure that everything was perfectly vertical, that the point was in the right place, and then cut, so, and then add a border, add the fill-in corner, and then of course everything had to be mitered so that all of the stripes match up. As perfect as can be made. And then the stitching is just highlighting. Here, there's a double row here, double row here. Here it's just following whatever the designer designed. And then a little bit of a decorative tack-on stitch here. Just a little bit of a highlight. So that's I think that's all that I have handy to show off right now. But I'm getting ready to go back on this jeans quilt that I'm making. But I just wanted to show these pieces. This is what I'm kind of known for, and I've taught this process for a couple years now. I just love doing this. I love taking a piece of fabric and just letting my mind go rampant with it. And just until you really look at it, you don't know what it is. Zebra. Anyway, that's it, and I'm gonna get working on these jeans, and there. That's it for now. Thanks.